Well, thank you very much, Brandon Stone. And everybody, welcome to Season 22 of the Prep Pigskin Report. No highlights, no problem for the next 40 minutes or so. We're going to get you updated on everything that is San Diego high school football as we prepare for what is sure to be the most memorable PPR season to date. And, of course, we do not work alone. I please bring in my partner in crime, Mr. Bert Grossman. You know Bert. He's a former NFL player, former Charger, former high school coach, and now the head coach of the San Diego Strike Force. Bert, welcome back to the PPR.
Thanks, Paul. How do you plan on doing a high school sports show with no high school season?
Well, I'll tell you what. You take your friends and you take their big-name friends. Do you have any introductions for us?
I do. We're going to have on my former teammate, Riddick at University of Pittsburgh. New Monday Night Football anchor. He's doing a little better than me.
Yeah, let's bring him in right now. There he is from his hotel room in Denver. Lewis, thank you very much for joining the PPR.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. It's been a long time since Bert and I were up there in Happy Valley terrorizing Penn State in 1988, 87, and we terrorized them twice together. So we had some good times, man. Good times.
Well, who would have thunk it that you would now be the newest cohort of the Monday Night Football team? We'll get to that in a moment. But first, we saw our first NFL game of the season on Thursday, no longer shying away from political messaging. Will the Monday night broadcast be similar in messaging?
Yeah, look, I'll tell you what. Look, I'm not going to speak on how all that's going to be handled. I will say this: that ESPN and the people who are in charge of the production overall have a good plan as far as what's going to take place in that regard. What I do know that I can speak about is the fact that we have a hell of a crew. Steve Levy is a veteran broadcaster. Brian Greasy played a long time in the NFL, has broadcasted a long time. I've kind of been at this since 2013. Doesn't seem like it's that long, but done a lot of different stuff there at ESPN, and this is a great opportunity. Great game, great matchup in a great city. Unfortunately, there won't be any fans there, but you know what? I think the quality of play on the field will speak for itself, for sure.
And Lewis, watching the game the other night, since I played, players want to get rid of preseason football. It looked pretty clean last night, and do you think that that's an argument to at least cut down or get away from preseason altogether?
Yeah, there's no question, Bert. I mean, that's why, a lot of guys feel as though they don't need that much ramp-up time. I mean, hell, Aaron Donald has skipped camp prior to this year. I think he had skipped camp twice in a row, and he was two-time NFL Defensive Player of the Year. So, I mean, there's something to be said for the fact that guys kind of know how to get themselves ready. There are a few soft tissue injuries going on around the league that is probably, a result of them not really having an off season, not having any OTAs and minicamp. But yeah, I think you'll see, the NFL will work together with the NFLPA and kind of adjust the preseason going forward. I don't know exactly how that'll turn out, but it was cool to see the game actually look pretty good. Obviously, tackling's always going to suffer, and it suffered a little bit last night, but the execution, I mean, these guys are pros, man. I mean, they look damn good.
Hey, Lewis, this is a high school sports show pretty much. One of the things that you and I didn't have to deal with was social media and highlight films, and I get a lot of highlight films. Can you tell, and you're a former executive, can you tell these kids what to look for, what they should put in their highlight films instead of the first 3 minutes of Nipsey Hussle and them high-fiving and warming up? I mean, I turn it off by them, but I mean,
well, yeah, it's a good question, Lewis. What should blue chippers do?
Yeah, really, you want to show yourself, obviously, playing the game and showing that you're competent at the things that, you're going to be asked to do in the position that you're more than likely being projected to play. I mean, that's what people care about the most. I mean, I understand. Look, we're in the look at me age, man. Everything is kind of packaged in such a way that people want people to look at them, even if it isn't for something that has real substance to it. And I think my advice would be get away from all of the entertainment part of sports right now, especially when you're still trying to get to where you want to get to, and eventually maybe you want to get to the NFL level. Stay away from the entertainment part, because the people who are really responsible for making these decisions at the high school, college level, they don't really care about that part. They want to see, can you play the game, and do you have the kind of skills that they think they can develop and take you as far as your overall skill level can take you. They don't really care about what kind of music you like or what kind of car you drive or what your girl looks like, or they really don't care about how many followers you have on Twitter and Instagram or whatever you're on. Just keep it simple. Keep the main thing the main thing. That's one of the best pieces of advice I ever got in my life. And the main thing is the game. So make sure it's about that and it represents you the right way in that regard.
Hey, Lewis, you're a really good guest. I hope we can talk you into doing this again sometime down the road, as I think you have a lot to offer as far as...
He said keep it simple. Like, that was the best advice he got. He played in like 87. We had black and white real film. What were you keeping simple?
Lewis, don't listen to Bert.
We didn't have VCR tape yet.
You know what? We'll talk about your pit days in our next conversation. Promise that there will be another one, okay?
Absolutely. You bet, man.
Lewis Riddick, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks,
good luck with the debut.
You bet. Thank you.
All right, let's give away some PPR gear. Here's Nick Polino and tonight's El Cajon Ford Pigskin Trivia question.
Thank you, gentlemen. Tonight's El Cajon Ford Pigskin Trivia question is, what is the longest running rivalry in San Diego section football? We start with the first matchup in the Unity Bowl, the Lincoln Hornets and the Morse Tigers. Then bring on Chula Vista and Sweetwater in their annual battle for the legacy of the Pride Trophy. In the North County, we have the Discovery Bowl, the Knights of San Marcos battling the Mission Hills Grizzlies. Some of you may know this one as the Charity Bowl. However, Cathedral Catholic and St. Augustine go head-to-head in the Holy Bowl. And last but certainly not least, the Battle of the Bear, the San Pasqual Fighting Eagles versus the Orange Glen Patriots. Make sure you tune in to tonight's Prep Pigskin Report to see if you are the lucky winner of the first ever El Cajon Ford Pigskin Trivia question.
Thanks, Nick. Now for a new segment on the show. It's called Hey Joe, a good friend of yours, Joe Heinz, now the newly appointed CIF, San Diego Commissioner. Joe, how you doing?
Great, Paul. How are you?
Well, I'm happy that you agreed to do this on a regular basis, because I think people need to hear from you on a regular basis, especially as it starts with the topic of the day, COVID-19. Now, I know you're not in charge of the health concerns, but as it sits right now, what is the CIF's position about resuming tackle football come January?
Really. So right now, Paul, we're kind of at the mercy of the state and county health departments. Obviously, things over the last few weeks have been trending in the right direction. We're anxiously doing all of our planning to be prepared to start on December 12th. A lot more of our schools are start to allow some permissible activities of conditioning and those type of things to start happening on some of their campuses. So we're starting to see kids come back and do some conditioning and practice. So that's great. And ultimately here, as the state, allows some more things to happen and allows us to get a little further into our preseason activities that per se we would do. We're again continue to push full speed ahead for December 12th and be ready to start on time with our season 1.
Joe, are you doing this Zoom from a porta potty?
I am, Bert. I am.
Maybe next week put a little something up there for us.
Thank you, Mr. Grossman. I appreciate your analysis on that, and I appreciate you having that delivered before the segment here. So thank you very much.
Hey, Joe, when we finally do get back, I know all you get mostly is CIF commissioners' complaints from parents. How are you going to deal, and what are the restrictions for parents going to see their kids play, being at the games? Right. Do you anticipate any 25% rule or just parents?
Great question, Bert. At this time, we just don't know. I mean, obviously, a lot of sports are happening in different parts of the country. And to this point, I know it's early in the fall season, but we're not hearing of any big outbreaks or any big issues with that, happening with that. I'm hoping that kind of great trend happens, throughout their first fall season, and the state of California can look at that, and that decision's made of what it's going to be when we are able to start, hopefully on December 12th. There's some sort of ability for fans to be there. I know that's important. I know, like the kids and our coaches in all of our schools, we've been anxiously waiting to get to this point. So I'm hoping fans are able to participate, that even in a limited capacity. But again, I think a lot of what's going on in the rest of the country hopefully will help dictate how we're able to start with any type of fans.
Well, that concludes our first Hey Joe segment. Other than the backdrop, Commissioner, you did great.
Thanks. I appreciate it, Paul. I've got the guys coming over to clean this out here in a little bit, so we'll be good.
All right. That's Hey Joe with Commissioner Joe Heinz, everybody. We'll be right back with more PPR. Welcome back to Season 22 of the Prep Pigskin Report. Are you ready to give your insightful bacon bit?
I am so ready right now.
You go last. Let's start with Maddie Sinclair.
The Pirates just added a new linebacker to their roster.
The late, great Junior Seau's nephew, Mikhail So'oto, says goodbye to Mission Hills and hello to Oceanside. This could be the secret weapon the Pirates need and will make for a very interesting winning season.
Despite the coronavirus pandemic slowing sports down to some degree, the student athletes have not shunned away from continuing to work hard and stay in shape for the season set to begin practicing in December and playing games in January. I want to commend all of our student athletes for staying positive and grinding through a rough, tough situation.
San Diego is a hot spot for great talent, as there were more than 50 Division I recruits in the last 4 out of the 6 years. But remember, players, it doesn't take a D1 offer to become great. Hard work, dedication, and enjoying the process will help you get there.
During the coronavirus pandemic, head coach of the La Jolla Vikings, Tyler Roach, made his rounds to each of his players, delivering them their 2019 CIF championship ring. With 9 starters on offense and 7 on defense returning for the Vikings come the new season, expect the red and black to make another run at a second ring.
At Bonita Vista High School, they have a brand new head coach in Tyler Arciaga, who came over from Mar Vista. Him and his brand new coaching staff took over the day COVID shut things down, so they haven't gotten to interact with their players in person, but are excited to get on the field with a lot of new faces after graduating 29 seniors.
We have another longtime coach stepping down. Matt Oliver is stepping down at Christian High.
Oliver has been pacing the Patriots sidelines as long as the PPR has been on the air, and he's joined in retirement by his assistant coach and athletic director, Dave Beezer. Beezer and Oliver been on the sidelines forever there. They coached Silver Pigskin finalist Brad Jeremiah, you might recall. Bert, they're going into business together.
I think you and I should do that when we retire.
Yeah.
Maybe a bed and breakfast in Maine, you and I.
Okay. A B&B? Yeah, as long as you take care of the sheets. All right, I believe Brandon Stone has a bacon bit too. Welcome to season 22 of the Prep Pigskin Report. My name is Rudy, and I'll be your host for a 30-minute gallop around the county, but I do not work alone. Please welcome back for his 3rd season on the Prep Pigs Report, head coach of the Strike Force, Mr. Bert Grossman. Bert, are you ready?
I am so ready, Paul. I've been waiting for this forever.
Well, the last official act of the PPR 2019 occurred in February of 2020. That was on the campus of Bishop School when we handed the trophy to the 2nd junior to ever win the prestigious Silver Pigskin. Tyler Buchner, a quarterback at Bishop School. It's the most coveted trophy in high school football. Everyone knows that. Tyler took possession in front of a jam-packed assembly. We'll show you those pictures in a moment. But much has changed since that day in February. And joining us now is the defending, reigning Silver Pigskin winner,
champ,
Tyler Buchner, who joins us from home. Hey, Tyler, how you doing?
How's it going? Good to see you.
It's really good. You know, last I recall, you were playing on one leg against El Camino in one of the most memorable high school football games that I can remember. And now you're enrolled at Helix High School. Could you talk about that decision, please?
Yeah, I think there's a couple factors that went into the decision. I think one of them, obviously, school is most important to me and my family. And I think one of the aspects is my plan has always been to graduate early from Notre Dame since freshman year. So I wanted to pick a school that could help get me the credits and classes and course load I needed to be able to do that. And Helix was a great option. And I think another aspect was obviously football. And I feel like I looked at schools all over the state of California, pretty much the country. And I knew I wanted to do something for the city of San Diego. I grew up here and I didn't want to leave. So I think doing something for San Diego and at a school like Helix, I think that all those combined really made it an easy decision.
Tyler, you bring up the fact that education is important, obviously. Are you still planning on playing if we go ahead in January at Helix, or are you planning on enrolling early and going to Notre Dame?
I think that's a tough decision. I wish I had an answer. My plan has always been to graduate early, and it's always been that way. And I think with this COVID situation and everything that's going on, I'm just sort of been taking it day by day because you never know what's going to happen tomorrow with COVID, could happen. It depends what could be different from what's happening in December. So my plan's always been to graduate early, and everyone at Helix knows that, but I'm still practicing with Helix. I'm still working with them twice a week, learning the playbook and everything, because you never know what's going to happen. And I don't want to say I'm going to do one thing when I won't end up doing it, because with COVID going on, I mean, you really don't know. We're pretty much going week by week here.
Well, we showed pictures of Touchdown Jesus. Now we're going to show pictures of that assembly in February. Do you feel like winning the Silver Pigskin has prepared you for the microscope you'll be under when you eventually walk onto the campus at Notre Dame?
Definitely. Winning the Silver Pigskin was a great honor, and winning something like that was definitely prepared me for hopefully success in the future. I mean, you never really know. I mean, the goal is to keep winning awards, and that comes with production on the field. And so, I mean, if the Silver Pigskin taught me anything, it's just that hard work pays off. But there's a lot of hard work to be put in ahead, and just keep your head down, keep grinding, and hopefully I can get some more Silver Pigskin-esque awards, even though there's nothing like it.
Well, that's kind of you to say. We certainly hope that you'll be in the running for it a second time round. Tyler Buchner, thank you for joining us, and we appreciate you always for representing the show and the trophy and high school football here in San Diego as well as you do.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
All right, Tyler Buchner, everybody. Bert, what does it take? You know what it takes to get to the highest level. That's the question we're asking youngsters and people like yourselves who have played this game at the highest level. What does it take?
I think what it took when I played 30 years ago and what it takes now are totally different things. We all played 3 sports, and we went outside, and we didn't specialize, we didn't train, so we just played to play. But now it's more and more that you have to hone your craft and year round do your craft, where we never did that before.
Well, we go from one Tyler to another. Our newest asset on the PPR, Nick James, is asking the question to Tyler Gaffney. What does it take?
What are you doing after practice? What are you doing before practice? What's your nutrition like? And so all of these ways to gain advantages on these other colleges recruiting you and these other scouts looking at you, what are you really doing to move the dial? And for me, that was hours in the gym after. We had 6 a.m. workouts, and then I'd go to practice, and then I'd work out after. And I got a group of my friends, and they would work out with me. That was the way I ate. Like, yeah, I still ate like a high schooler, but I started really paying attention to no fast food. Like the guys in the big leagues, like, yeah, some are freak athletes, but they're eating healthy. And so I started that process early. I started cutting out things that I knew weren't good for me. I started not hanging out with the wrong crowd. I mean, we all have different friends and friends groups that you want the ones that are encouraging you to be better, not bringing you down to make them feel better.
All right, Tyler, thank you very much. Time for our first break. Madison and Brandon will join the fray. But first, let's check out the PPR home life of Jesse Campbell. We'll be right back.
Thank you to just everyone for just coming out today. I want to thank my teammates, and I just want to thank my coaches for everything. I'm 100% committed to Army West Point. At the end, I chose Army for a reason. I felt really confident with my choice. I'm just ready for this journey. I'm just excited.
It will take more than Mad Men to alter our children's way of life. Nearly every San Diego school choosing to keep to its prep gridiron schedule. We here at KUSI opting to do the same.
Montgomery hosting Eastlake, where there were some very, very emotional moments before the game. Candles in hands, players from both teams paid their respects to America and the victims of this week's attacks.
All right, welcome back to the Prep Pigskin Report, now in our 22nd season. I remember those poignant moments after 9/11, and I think we'll be talking about those moments for generations to come.
I believe so. Yeah, I don't see it going away.
All right, it's all about sharing moments on the PPR. Brandon Stone is in charge of King Amanpour's segment. He's digging for silver, so he's going to dig for silver right now.
Oh, hey everybody, Brandon Stone here, sitting in the archives where we are once again digging for silver. Now it's week 1 of the fall version of the Prep Pigskin Report, which means I thought we should look back at some of the best week 1 moments. We can go back to 2005, Cathedral opening their building for the first time and them winning with 40 seconds to go. 2008, the battle of 2 traditional powers, including a man who will go on to play in the NFL. 2012, a battle in the North, Escondido winning in the last second against RB. And then from 2017, Morse, Mount Miguel, just a couple miles away from one another. And what a finish, thanks to a man that's now a UCLA Bruin. The Mega Powers taking this one home thanks to you, the fans. Oceanside, Eastlake, 2008. Let's roll the tape.
Whitaker, and he'll take it in. 26-17 Oceanside at the half. Keep your attention on number 1, Tony Jefferson. He'll take the short kick, and number 1 will go right into your living room down the left sidelines. And folks, it's a football game. Titans within 3. They'll try the onside kick, and Oceanside recovers.
A lot of seniors left. A lot of our seniors left. Our team's trying to step up, though. We're trying to take the spot of those seniors that left last year.
So that was your Week 1 selection for Digging for Silver. Until next time, I'm Brandon Stone, reminding you to show some class and wear a mask, and we'll see you in the archives next time.
Ooh, I'll tell you what, seeing Jake Feely again, I could tell you a story about Jake, but I won't do it because for the rest of the story. Hey, you know, the PPR has been more than a highlight show over the years, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's become a community. It's iconic. It just is a whole experience that you get to do Friday night. I mean, people just look forward to it so much more than just a highlight show.
Hence the segment called Squad Up. We're looking for the squad behind the squad. Maddie Sinclair taking us to the campus of Mission Hills.
A true Friday Night Lights experience isn't complete without a little help from the squad.
As cheerleaders, we see it from our perspective that we're part of the reason that the crowd is really loud, and I think that it just keeps the boys' energy up.
We go to all the away games, we go to all the home games, and if we're not there, people ask why we aren't there. Mission Hills especially, we have a lot of school spirit, and so it's difficult being at home.
And even though these Grizzlies are safe at home, that doesn't mean the chants and cheering have stopped.
All virtual practices, basically just trying to go through a routine each practice. We practice two days a week.
I think if we all keep putting in our 100% effort, then if we go back, this will probably be one of our best seasons because we've had so much practice.
But when times are their most difficult, the cheerleaders do what they do best: keep the spirits high.
Just know that us cheerleaders are still practicing and we're cheering you guys on, even though everyone's at home still. We still appreciate all of you guys, and we definitely want to get back to it, and we're super excited to hopefully get back to season in January.
Whenever the football players are ready and everything's ready, we'll be right along with them and cheer them on.
Go Grizzlies!
Well done, Maddie Sinclair. We lead the show off with the South Bay and Bo Furteg, but Bo is now playing in a new position where he is finding the faces in new places. Get it?
I think I do, yeah.
Like Tyler Buchner's a face.
I just figured out what bacon bits meant for the pig and everything else. It took me an hour.
All right, so another South Bay kid is now featured, Aiden Calvert. He's a Crusader turned Falcon. Here's Bo Furteg.
The man from Mater Dei is on a new crusade, this time by air instead of land.
I wanted to make a 40-year choice, not a 4-year. So I recognize the opportunity that I'd have after I graduate, whether I go to the NFL or I don't.
And what makes this Falcon fly?
My drive to make my parents proud and honestly grow myself in character, strive for excellence, and whatever I pursue is to put 100% into it.
College can be a difficult decision. What helped Aiden make his?
My grandparents were military, so just coming from sort of military and law enforcement background, just knowing that I have the opportunity to serve, it's a pretty cool feeling knowing that I'm one of the few that get to do this.
For you players out there wondering what it takes to become a D1 athlete?
It's not going to be easy. There's hard days, there's long days of studying, watching film, doing things that you might not want to do all the time, but in the end realizing that it's going to push you towards your goal. And don't let anyone else make that decision for you. Keep your head to the grindstone and keep moving.
Wow, Barrett's life.
I'll say thanks, Bo. Earlier we spoke with new CIF Commissioner Joe Heinz about what football will look like, if there will be football, and all COVID-related
matters.
Yes.
Hey, Joe.
Obviously, things over the last few weeks have been trending in the right direction. We're anxiously doing all of our planning to be prepared to start on December 12th. A lot more of our schools are start to allow some permissible activities of conditioning and those type of things to start happening on some of their campuses. So you're starting to see kids come back and do some conditioning and practice. So that's great. And ultimately here, as the state, allows some more things to happen and allows us to get a little further into our preseason activities that per se we would do. We're again continue to push full speed ahead for December 12th and be ready to start on time with our season 1.
All right, you agree with that?
December 12th?
Yeah.
I do agree with that.
All right, we're going to take another time out, but up next we'll have our Silver Pigskin Awards watch list. But first, let's check out the PPR home life of Jay Friend of Ramona High, hanging out at Lake Powell with Giovanni Aho of Valhalla, putting in some of off-season sweat. Check it out.
Roll, please. From Modern Day High School, C.J.
It means a lot. First of all, I want to give thanks to God, and got to give thanks to my family, my coaches, and my friends as well.
Second running back to come out of Modern Day / Marian Catholic to win the Silver Pigskin. Hey, it's all about full transparency here at the PPR. Every week on the PPR Unplugged version, we're going to project or devote space to both on our website and on the show to athletes that we think will be on our Silver Pigskin Gala Awards watch list. The list will obviously grow longer once we start playing, but let's start the conversation, and every week following we'll add 7 more names courtesy of the PPR staff. Bert, you get to go first. Who's your Silver Pigskin first watch lister? I think I know where I'd go.
I'd have to go with Tyler Buchner, obviously, first, if he plays. Going to Helix with everything they have with that staff and that offensive line, I just think, I don't know how you beat the numbers he had last year, but I think he could this year.
Yeah, he's going to have more assets around. But, everyone thought Reggie Bush was going to be a shoo-in to win his senior year and did not. It's hard to repeat, Bert.
It is, and you know what? There's talk down south that there's a kid who might win it as a sophomore, too, Trey Edwards.
Well, that would be historic, of course. Let's continue our watch list with Brandon Stone.
Tyler Buchner, great quarterback, of course, but somebody had to catch the ball along the way. So at Helix this spring, it's going to be Clay all day. The superstar wide receiver, 68 receptions last year, 1,200 yards. That's 17 a catch. Put him on the watch list? Yes.
This week, I'm adding Elijah Lloyd to the Silver Pigskin watch list. The Mission Hills defensive back picked up close to 20 offers before committing to the Washington State Cougars. Now Elijah's the 45th best corner in the nation and the 58th best player in the state. Good luck to any team trying to keep up with Mr. Lloyd, as he is one of the fastest players in the state with a 4.38 laser 40 time. Keep it up, Elijah Lloyd.
Silver Pigskin watch list. I'm rolling with wide receiver from Modern Day High School senior Josh Meredith, heading to Fresno State next season. He's transferred from Valhalla High School. He's a burner with hands, and I think he will have a sensational season before he heads up the 99 to go play for the Bulldogs.
Byron Cardwell continues to rack up offers coast to coast as he was named Under Armour MVP earlier this year. The newly minted Morris Tiger brings a combination of vision, lateral movement, and speed, which makes him a great candidate for Silver Pigskin.
My Silver Pigskin watch list selection for this week hails from the home of the Matadors, Mount Miguel's quarterback, Jacob Levertier. He was a 2019 Underclassman of the Year nominee for a reason. With over 3,300 passing yards and 50 total touchdowns, he was a force to be reckoned with his junior year, and we can't wait to see what he accomplishes in his senior season.
This week, I'm adding Oceanside's running back Kavika Tua to my Silver Pigskin watch list. In his junior season, Tua finished with more than 2,300 rushing yards and 25 touchdowns, helping him get Division I offers from Sac State, San Jose State, and South Dakota. Expect to see a Pirate on the podium this spring.
I'll tell you what, you know why this show works?
Because of you?
No, well, besides that. No, the caliber of athletes.
Yeah.
I mean, geez, our high school game video did not look anything like what we're watching here.
We didn't have video. That was the whole difference in high school now.
All right, don't go anywhere. We still have the Hollandia Student Athlete Spotlight. We're going to raise a glass to a young man by the name of Max Smith. But right now, enjoy the El Cajon Ford trivia answer. It's to be revealed in just a bit.
Dad, why are you looking so sad? I mean, do you miss coaching?
I don't miss coaching. I just never got to wear the red jacket.
Yes!
I really wish I had a flute right now.
You know, Bert, a flute with no holes is a Danish. Speaking of Danish, how about time to raise a glass of milk? Let's raise a glass to our Hollandia Dairy Student Athlete of the Week. Here's Allison Edmonds with a look at La Jolla's Max Smith.
In normal times, La Jolla's captain Max Smith would be helping to sail the ship on Fay Avenue. But this year, staying on the right course looks a little different.
Definitely, we have group chats where we talk and make sure we're all kind of set in stone and what we want to do and what we want to accomplish this year. So kind of making goals and stuff like that. Just like last year, just like it's a normal year, but just kind of from a distance.
And besides getting things done on the field, Max also knows how to navigate the classroom, which is why he's off to Annapolis next year.
Just getting on campus really astonished me because my dad had gone there. So it's definitely some motivation to want to go there, and I've wanted to for a while, but just seeing it in person just struck me, like kind of got me in the heart. What they want in their program and how their program's been doing and just what they see as the future. It's looking very bright, and I'm really excited to be a part of that.
But football isn't his only skill. He also spends time playing rugby.
My brother had played it, and my dad had talked about it to me, and it was similar to football, so I was like, in the off season, might as well get to hit some people. And turns out I was like pretty decent at it, and I liked it a lot. It's another pathway. It's something you can play until you're 40. Even if you're not at the highest level, you can play for a long time. So definitely going to try to do something after college football with that.
This is Allison Edmonds for the Prep Pigskin Report.
Well done, Allison. It's a challenging job to do the Student Athlete Spotlight, brought to you by Hollandia, without a classroom to go to.
It is, and then when you hear, obviously it was taped because you hear the pride for Navy football in the direction, and then we watched the BYU game.
You had to bring that up. Hey, were you ever a rugby athlete?
A flute is a Danish. No, I was never played rugby. On the East Coast, lacrosse has always been a huge sport, so it pretty much takes your spot.
You want to go? You want to do my Caddyshack joke again?
No.
Okay. All right. Let's hand out some PPR gear. You want to try on a? Oh, you probably can't even do it, but I can. We're also giving away PPR gear, but we're also, because of the sponsor, El Cajon Ford is sponsoring our pigskin trivia question. Here's Nick Polino with the answer to tonight's query about the longest running rivalry.
That's right, Paul. We have some swag to hand out. So let me start by reminding everyone of tonight's El Cajon Ford pigskin trivia question. What is the longest running rivalry in San Diego section football? Sweetwater versus Chula Vista. The rivalry dates back to 1946 when the Red Devils took down the Chula Vista Spartans 24-6. And with that being said, our winner is Lucha Booch. Congrats, young man. We got some PPR and El Cajon Ford gear heading your way.
All right, so that, thank you very much, Nick. We will send the gear out right away, and as you know, our swag bag always gets better as the season goes on. There'll be more El Cajon Ford stuff. There'll be more PPR stuff. So make sure you tune in for the Pigskin Trivia. Participate on all our social media platforms, because if once you get into the pool of winners, like Paul Dyke, I'm swiping this hat right now, so we need another one. Wow. Hey, first show without highlights. What do you think?
I thought it was good. What do you have planned for next week?
Well, we're going to have David Dunn is going to be on, is going to be one of our guests, and I believe we're tapping into your contact list again. Who are we going to have?
This week it'll be Tony Saragusa, the Goose.
The Goose will be joining us, talking about his high school football experiences, and of course, we'll just keep monitoring things. Hey, Joe, Joe Heinz will be joining us every week, talk about.
Is Joe going to be joining us from that same construction site, porta potty, undisclosed construction site?
All right, we're going to have to wrap it up. That sound right there.
This game's going to end right now.
I guess the show is over. Do not forget, we will replay this extravaganza Saturday nights at 11:30. And of course, make sure to check out all our social media platforms. The deluge will begin in just a bit. Hashtag KUSIPPR. We'll see you next Friday. On behalf of Bert, Brandon, Stone, and all the other folks that are working hard behind the scenes to make this show possible, thanks for watching the Unplugged edition of the Prep Pigskin Report. We'll see you next week.
PBR, it's where the dogs hang out.